A narrative is not just a story. Story, right, is a series of events that has a plot, it has characters, it has a beginning, a middle, and end, all of those things. But a narrative isn't just a story. A narrative is the patterns of meaning that tie those stories together and give rise to new stories, right? And I like to say that if messaging is what you say and framing is how you say it, narrative is actually what people hear when you say it, right? And so here's a good example of that. During the pandemic, do you all remember that moment? This was kind of early on when we were all just starting to figure out working from home. And there was this guy, it was this white guy, professional, and he was zooming in for maybe it was BBC, it was some interview. And then all of a sudden you see like a little baby walk in the background. And then maybe like 15 seconds later, you see a woman fly through the door, very like Seinfeld Kramer, right? She like flew through the door, grabbed the kid. There was another kid. It was like chaos in the back. Very cute moment, representative of our transition to working from home. But when it first happened, if you went on social, there were a lot of people saying, "Oh my God, did you see the guy whose nanny came in and grabbed the kid?" And there was all this stuff, right? The actual story, the truth, the players, the plot, what happened was that that was his wife and those were her children. That's the story, right? That's the message. But narrative and the patterns of meaning that people were familiar with based on their life experiences, based on the stories they'd seen before, had that woman as a domestic worker because that was the frame. And so as progressives and people who do the work of politics, oftentimes we are very quick to jump right to the stories and not think about what are people hearing? What is that value set, those cultural narratives and ideas that are already existing in the landscape and already existing in hearts and minds that our messaging and our framing and our storytelling is landing in. That's what we need to do better.